So we have a stock review today on Morgan Stanley. This is out of the normal sectors that I tend to review a lot. So this is more in the financial services sector because a lot of times we're heavily involved in tech with options trading. But this is a really interesting stock. It's more on the conservative side, and the options premiums aren't as juicy, but you definitely wouldn't be accused of doing premium chasing with this one. So that is the benefit of it. It's priced pretty nice at the 117 right now. I mean, we're going through a market pullback, but as far as like stocks to get into options trading with, if you have a smaller account, maybe this is a good fit just for your portfolio size. But let's go through my system. So normally, I'm not going to bring up my chart today on like show you the step-by-step because the financial services ones, you really can't go through and see if on their financial statements, the full financial statements, because they just don't operate that way. So we're just going to go over some different steps because this is a financial services company. So Morgan Stanley, we have to understand what they do. So they do a lot of stock trading for institutions, and they're sort of like a brokerage house for that. And then they also do a lot of wealth management. So they're like the big guys, okay? They are handling tons and tons of money for their investors and just making money on those brokerage fees and advisement fees and things like that. So we have a 5-year chart that's up 283%. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, it would have been even higher when we were at market highs. 1 year, 34%, and then we're going to look at the month and the 6 month and kind of come up with a 3 month thing here. But 6 month is great. 1 month a little down just because we're going through this market pullback. So it's actually holding up pretty well during this market pullback. So I think that's something to really be aware of as well. On the financials, I'm going to just show you how this is different. So you have your total revenue, which is bouncing around here, and then you don't have like a profit. So they're not really posting that way like a corporation does because they're a little bit different because they're in this different sector. So we're not going to spend too much time there, but I am going to go back to the summary and just show you that one of the things that then becomes more important to me in the financial sector is just do they pay a dividend? And this dividend's really nice, 3.7 or 3.14%. So that is really great. So for these companies that are more in the banking sector, I am looking for some industry dominance. Definitely, these guys are the big players. Even when I read financial news, the reporting that they do is just like so good and so on point. I really trust them as a company. Not to say that I trust them to trade my money or something like that. I'm not there. Like that's not what I do. But for me, as far as their evaluations of what I see, they write articles about what they see stock projections being, and they're so on point with which way they see the market going and stuff like that. So I think they know their stuff, okay, because I read a lot, and I really like what I read from them. I'm just like, gosh, they seem to be right so often. So I think that they are a company that is very on point. This dividend is super great, and their charts are fantastic. So for me, this gets a 2 thumbs up. I do not own any of this. However, I would be interested in owning this, okay? Just so that you guys know. That is kind of my take on Morgan Stanley.